Hello and welcome to the Wedding Chit Chat podcast. If you're planning your wedding and feeling overwhelmed, grab a drink and keep listening. We'll be sharing all you need to know to give you the confidence to seamlessly plan your own wedding. Welcome to the Wedding Chit Chat podcast. You're joined by Natalie
and Lauren.
And today we've got special guests with us, Tenille Evans from the Vegan Weddings and Events and also Secret Creek Cafe.
Woo! Hey, Tenille.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here and I can't wait to talk with you today about weddings. My favourite thing.
I'm fangirling pretty hard. So been to Secret Creek as a customer and then I don't actually know if I've told you this. My very first ever wedding 3 years ago was at Secret Creek.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so nice. Lauren's actually vegan. How long have you been vegan for?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's been to Secret Creek and loves vegan food. I've tried Tenille's food at so many weddings. I'm not vegan myself, but there are certain dishes which I absolutely love. And you can't even tell that they're vegan. So
certain dishes that Nat doesn't like, mainly the ones with cheese. She's a bit particular about the vegan cheese.
No, it was just one time, okay? It was just one time. Like, I love a goat's cheese. So I love the marinated goat's cheese. And Tenille made goat's cheese. And I forgot for a second that it was vegan. And I'm like, oh, because it looked exactly the same as like how I buy it in the shops. And I literally went to like eat it. And then I'm like, oh, it's vegan.
Tastes like coconut.
But so only cheeses I can't do vegan cheese. And that's how I found out that I can't do vegan cheese. But
it's a bold statement.
Else,
there's a lot of different types, but that's okay.
Yeah, like everything else, I honestly love. So that's a good start, right?
No,
for
it's
non-vegan.
Good. I do like the honesty. I love that. I always get that from you, the honesty, because honestly, like, so
I have to be honest. I have to. It's in my nature.
I love it. I really do because I know that if you like something, it's really good. You know, so you can be the harsh critic that I need sometimes. Yeah.
Cool. So shall we get on to what we're going to talk about today?
So today's topic is trends. Lauren doesn't like the word trends.
Yeah, fucking hate it.
But that's
let me just explain.
Overall
I understand. I can appreciate what trends are and how they come to be, and especially how they come to like fruition now with the social media bringing everything to the forefront and being shared. But I don't think have a trend for the sake of trend's sake. If it's authentically you, if it's really going to add some meaning, add some fun to your big day, then I'm cool with.
Yeah, like don't just do it because everyone else is doing it. Yeah, no, I get that too.
Yep.
Like I totally get it. Yeah, definitely. If it means something to you, then go for it.
Yeah.
So the first one we want to dive into is obviously about food because we have a special guest here who knows everything about food. So...
I'll try.
So Tenille, like what are you seeing with bookings for this year and like potentially next year and things? What are you seeing as far as trends like style of food being plated and things like that?
So the first thing I think, which relates to what we're talking about with, authenticity, I have a vegan catering company. So clearly I'm getting, not always just vegan couples, but I am seeing a lot of more couples that come to me and, ordinarily they might not have had a vegan wedding, but that idea that they feel like if they have vendors that are empowering them to do something that is actually really meaningful for them, instead of just going along with, trends or going along with what they think they're supposed to do on their big day, then, that they feel like they can have vegan catering if that's what they want. So I don't know, it's kind of like a trend, anti-trend, I guess, seeing more people choosing catering that aligns with their values. Yeah. So that might mean for you vegan food. It might mean that you really want something that's locally sourced. It might mean that you, you just want to know where it comes from and who's made it and how. Like food is such an important part of a wedding. Yeah.
Yes.
It always will be.
The biggest part.
Yeah.
Like if the food's bad, the wedding's bad.
Arguably, if the celebrant's not there, there's no wedding. But like, the celebration side, I'm on board.
No, it's all about the food. It is all about the food.
That's how we celebrate.
We've all got our interests in the area. So I
No,
mean,
but,
but
for most couples though, like when I talk about priorities and things, food is like always number one.
I get it.
like,
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I agree. I was just having
Yeah.
a poke.
So yeah, I think that in itself is a trend that people are going, okay, I want to do something with the food for my wedding that is more meaningful than just like something yummy.
Yeah.
Like they want to go, okay, where did it come from? Is it sustainable if that's what's your thing, if that's what's meaningful for you as a couple? Because really, like, you're celebrating your love, you're extending the things that are important to you and you as a couple into the community. And, you know, I think as well, your wedding is a chance to, it's a chance, I don't know, like, I guess at the risk of getting too complicated with this, like our value is under this world that we live in, this neoliberal capitalist world, is reduced a lot to our power as consumers. Like which in a way is a little bit sad, but like our power as consumers when it comes to our weddings, like it's, you know, it's a big investment. And it needs to reflect your values. Like, and I think that's what I'm seeing in terms of that sort of overall trend.
And more people are stepping into doing that, and they're not feeling maybe as much pressure as in previous years.
Family pressure, like, oh, if you you know, Uncle Bob is not going to be able to have a steak, like what's he going to think? Like,
and even like just thinking about that, like if the couple are vegan themselves and they pick like a caterer who doesn't cater vegan food, like they're the ones who actually will miss out. Like, you know how like the vegetarians sometimes like get like a meal where it's like specially made for them, but it's like as the couple, if they're vegan then went with a different caterer, then they would be the ones who got the special meal, if that made sense.
Yeah,
like,
and it's going to be a mushroom risotto. Or a vegetable
so it's like,
stack.
Well,
or
why
something
shouldn't
gross.
they be the ones who get the extravagant, exactly what they wanted, you know?
Yeah. And then as far as like the service goes,
they're paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Exactly. Yeah. And I, like, to be honest, I am lucky that a lot of my clients are, you know, like, by the time they get to be talking to me about booking their wedding, they're already really passionate about it. You know, they don't need a lot of convincing by the time they get to me. Sometimes, like every now and again, especially if one of the couple isn't vegan or they're just veggie and they're not sure if maybe they'll go with a conventional caterer, you know, and just get the veggie options that they offer. And then they try the food and they're like, oh yeah, this is for everyone. Like it's
I'm pretty sure that
inclusive.
tasting will just get them over the line.
Yeah. Because it's, you know, it is more inclusive. It's like, you know, counts for a lot of the allergies, you know, that you're going to get. But in terms of service style, I think share plates aren't going anywhere. That was like in the last couple of years, it's just been the way that most people do it.
It's like a nice upper class buffet.
Yes,
it is.
Buffet, I hate buffets.
Yeah, because you don't want to stand there and
buffet.
line up with your plates.
Comes to you.
I
love it.
Yeah,
I love that.
And the thing is as well, especially when it's catering that you might think that not everyone's going to like, because if you go with what's important to you and you go, I love this food, this is what I want, but you're not sure it's that all of your guests are going to love it. The good thing about share plates is that the guests can take more of what they like and less of what they don't like. So, you know, they can load up their plate with all of the burgers, you know, if that's what they want. They can not eat the cauliflower, which is weird because everyone loves the cauliflower, but you know, they can not eat the salads because, you know, but if you want, and it also looks really beautiful and abundant on the table, especially if you sort of factor it into your tablescape and just like, you know.
I love that. And it always looks nice because with buffets, usually like the plates are like stacked at the buffet table, and like I love when the place settings are like already on the table, and with shared plates, they're already set. Yeah, because you need the plate to eat the food. Yeah, so that's why I love it too.
It's an extra nice thing that you can style on the tables.
That's
like,
right.
So if you've got lovely plates, you can factor it in. Definitely.
What about late snacks? Are you seeing people doing more? Like, are people wanting late snacks more now?
Yeah, I think. Well, yes, definitely.
So like after mains and like after dessert.
Yes. Yeah. So this is something, if you haven't seen this or you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Yeah. Generally it's served, it's kind of food to like carb heavy food to soak up the alcohol a bit later on. So it's usually after the dinner, everyone's gone to the dance floor, and often they're served on the dance floor, and it's like little mini sliders, sausage rolls, We do cheese toasties, which of course Nat you wouldn't like because it's vegan cheese.
I
But
was like,
they're
the
really
cheese
good.
toasty.
They're
Like,
really good. But the
vegan
thing
cheese.
is as well, just to go back to the cheese, we probably shouldn't, but there's many different types of cheese.
Yes, there is.
Vegan cheese. But this one in the cheese toasty, amazing. Like
maybe I gotta try that one.
It's the best cheese toasty I've ever had. Probably because they're drunk by that
Wow.
stage. And every cheese toasty tastes good when you're drunk. But it's usually, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. And, just kind of...
It's so your guests don't have to go to Macca's after as well. Like, I feel like it's not that they, like, obviously with the caterers, we do need to make sure, like, I only recommend caterers. I know that, like, there's an abundance of food and, like, I don't have to worry about there's not going to be enough food for the guests because it looks bad. And, like, at a wedding, you don't want to have not enough food.
Yeah.
But if I ever get a couple who make it really known that, we need to have more food, the late snack is such a good option to add in because, like, guests, like you said, like, they're dancing and they're just grabbing something to eat. Like, it's always something small they can pick up and eat, and it just ensures that they don't have to go to Macca's after.
Well, you don't want to load up right before you go on the dance floor either.
Yeah.
Like, you want to eat, you want to be...
After, like when you said, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
it's like, it's a good time.
Yeah, nice.
And also during dinner, I think people are still, like, on their, like, fancy clothes, fancy event behaviour.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, being polite and they're just eating really nicely and chatting. And then they probably aren't just, like, eating everything that they can. Not everyone,
then the
but,
ties get loosened.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoes come off.
That's right. And they just go, you know what? I'm going to eat.
Yeah. Give me that slider.
Yeah, exactly.
That cheese toasty.
Mm.
So this leads into the next sort of trend that I want to discuss is, like, weddings are becoming like a weekend event. So we're seeing things like the night before the wedding, there's, like, dinners happening for, like, smaller groups of people, and then the wedding day, and then, like, a recovery brunch after. So you guys seeing that sort of stuff as well, like that becoming like a weekend event rather than just a one-time thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I am a big fan of this as well. I feel like if everyone's going to have, take the time off and, like, why not make a weekend of it? Especially because a lot of weddings, I mean, I think the destination wedding has always been a thing. And, people they're traveling sort of 2-3 hours to an event. Like, they've got plenty of notice usually. Weddings are booked well in advance. Like, why not give them something else to do the day before?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe something's on in the town that you're going to. Even if it's something really rural and really rustic, like the rodeo might be on, which I'm saying that because we did a wedding in Cootamundra a couple of months ago, and the rodeo was on the night before. I mean, my clients are vegan, so I don't think they went, but the guests might have went. But, like, maybe there's something that you can
and usually, like, when people book accommodation, it's usually minimum 2 nights.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
like I find, like, they need something to do the other time as well.
Yeah. You see it in the movies though, hey, like rehearsal dinner.
Rehearsal
It's
dinner.
an American thing.
No, it's an American thing.
Yeah, I've had a lot of couples do rehearsal drinks.
Oh, okay.
Because that's that's when they're with their beau, and then they separate into their own respective rooms.
Okay.
For the ones that are doing the traditional, I don't say it before the wedding, but, like, let's get pissed before. You got too pissed because I was bright-eyed.
For the wedding.
But a lot of them will, because that's that camaraderie. They're with all of their favorite people at their wedding party or like their private.
And
immediate
sometimes
family.
like the wedding party has helped, like, set up like a DIY venue and stuff.
Yeah.
They've helped do things. So you want to, like,
reward them.
shout them dinner or, like, or drinks or something.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, thanks guys, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, the best advice I got and that I try and give to my couples on wedding days, and this is just a general thing, is please try and take in as much as you can because the day's going to go so fast. So when you've got 100 odd people, or, like, let's face it, the numbers are more like 60, 70 odd these days. But when you have that many people in this short amount of time, by extending that and flanking on a day before or a day after or both, it's just giving you more valuable time rather than just the cuddle and the drink in hand.
Yeah.
Which is
and
also
a quick photo.
Yeah, you really don't get enough time to talk to everyone at the wedding.
Yeah.
Like, and eat and do all the official things and sit down and listen to the speeches. Like, there's a lot
they go up and
happening.
take
And you don't want to rush
photos
it. You just spread it out.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that trend.
And you can have more outfits too.
Yes, you can. Oh my gosh.
Cash outfits.
I just had a bride come out with it sporting, like, off the not beige, but like an off-white croc, and it was all and
Nice.
so was her little man, like a son,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, this is the look.
At the actual wedding, or like
Yeah, this was her
oh,
reception
so good.
attire.
I would
Yeah.
wear those. I live in my Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tenille's got her Crocs on right now.
Yeah.
Love them.
They've got fruit on them.
Yeah, I saw that. She's got her veggies on there.
In theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Veggies.
Nice.
So, Lauren, you touched on this just before, and you were saying like weddings are starting to get a bit smaller. So,
Yeah.
I feel like that as well. Like with the way the economy is going and things, we are seeing couples cull their guest list.
Yep.
And yeah, we're seeing a lot smaller weddings than what we have in previous years, which does cut on cost normally. But also gives you that more time, like with the guests if you do want it. So people are prioritizing what they want in their wedding these days is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So if that's something like you want to just spend the time with like your immediate families and things like that. So a lot of people are just doing what they want these days and not having the big weddings because that's what they think everyone was like expecting.
Yeah.
So
there has been a shift. I think pressure isn't as great. I mean, look, every family dynamic's different, and some families do have a little bit more pressure, or couples have more pressure from family than others. But yeah, now with the freedom to do what you want, and I think the economy is a great excuse. Like we had COVID.
COVID was a great excuse.
Yeah.
And now the economy is like, oh, we can't afford.
And it didn't just shift back as to the way things were. Now there's been a transition.
The thing is, it's like, you know, the truth is you maybe just don't like all your cousins that much. You know, like the truth is like maybe you just want an excuse not to invite like all your friends from
or your
school
mate's girlfriend or whatever, and just
like,
be like, oh, soz, no plus one.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Yeah, like really.
People still ask. I've got a few brides dealing with like difficult guests and like wanting the plus ones and stuff. Even though it's clear on the invitation.
That's the thing. The RSVP or the invite, it's crucial.
Yeah.
How that's worded.
It's on there, but like people still try and get away with it. So stick to your guns.
Yep.
The other things we want to talk about are like different trends with photography. So like we're seeing more candid style of photos where people are really taking in like just how the day went and not really like what's the word I'm looking for? Like not posing and not
like those portrait shots.
Choreographed, like a choreographed photo sort of thing. Yeah. So they're looking into more photographers who do that candid style, which I love.
And maybe like I've seen like both. So they'll have like their sort of more formal photographer to get those portraits, but then have like I don't know if you, and I can't remember the name, maybe we can put it somewhere, but there's a couple of vendors that do like content from your wedding. So they go and they basically record with a phone.
The content creator.
Content creators that basically like make so that you have stuff that you can immediately share. You don't have to worry about all of your guests having their phones out as well. I can't think of the name of the one I'm thinking of, but they basically like there's a few types of
that in itself.
We had Christine on our last episode from the Modern Brides BFF. So she's a wedding content creator. And they go out to weddings and it's a thing now. Like after COVID, it just...
That in itself is a trend. And I'm here for it. I love it.
I love it too.
At first I did not like it.
I was like, oh.
No, but seeing what it, like the results.
It's cool. Because it's like, it's candid and it's very like, and you can, I don't know, like I feel like that's just the way the world is now. Like if you don't sort of think about that and consider it, you're going to end up with all of these random bits that your friends send you. And
that's right.
And just on Candids, you can still provide your photographers with a list of people, like if you want to make sure you get that photo with none, but it doesn't need to be both of you standing there smiling. It can be when you're hugging or laughing. Like I think that's really important too.
You give them a shot list. Like they expect it, like a list of the shots that you absolutely have to have.
Don't have a long list. No, I mean it like I've
had... make a big list, then cull it some more, and make it the really important things you can't miss.
Yeah, not like a group and then just one extra person and then like one extra. And it's like, we've got like 50 shots to do. Because people spread out like after ceremony, and then you don't want to have to gather these people again to take these photos, and they're waiting for their turn, and it can, if the list is long, just keep it minimal. That's what I would say.
I've also seen a few of my clients have done like basically a sort of like a shot list, but for the guests. Like take,
Oh.
you know, how people sort of have their
Oh, like
phones
a scavenger
anyway.
hunt?
Yeah, well, yeah, scavenger hunt
people.
for photos.
For people.
For people. So it's like take a
this.
photo of someone.
Ah.
So you know how like sometimes people do like little quizzes and little
On
like
the table,
bits and
little trivia and
pieces,
stuff.
trivia
Yeah.
on the tables, just to kind of
Oh, I like
you know,
Get guests involved in
yeah.
something.
So you and you know the hashtag for a wedding
Yeah.
has been a thing for a few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So you sort of have that on there. They can either, you know, post it to the hashtag or they
Yeah.
can just
Now
like
it's like
send it to
QR
someone.
Or QR code.
code. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
they
like
go to
take
an
a
album.
photo of
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
eating a burger. I don't
Yeah.
know, like whatever
random
it is.
stuff.
Or like I think when we've had that, because it was in the sanctuary, like they'd you know
Yeah.
take a picture of an emu or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Oh. So like on talking about entertainers and like different ways to get your guests involved, like we've been seeing a trend of like where people don't really like I don't have many weddings where they actually get like entertainers, like apart from musicians and things like that now. But what I really love is the wedding chats.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So there's a I don't know, maybe Lauren, you can explain it better
Yeah.
how they
Big
sort
fan,
of do it.
big fan. Just go
Yeah.
onto Instagram and type in
Yeah.
wedding chat. So what it is, the idea, instead of having to do a guest book where everyone is, sometimes they're uncertain what to write or speak if you're doing an audio guest book. And later on in the night, they can be a little bit too tiddly. So the idea is they're getting interviewed, right? So they're often getting bailed up at that cocktail period. So just after
Yeah.
the ceremony, they've witnessed that. They've been mingling a little bit. They've had a little bit of sauce, so they've got a bit of confidence. But it's really down to the interviewer to bring out the story. So it's
Yeah.
giving them some structure, you know, oh, what is it that you love most about them? What bits of advice do you have? But it steers them in such a way. And the content is
it's
unbelievable. I have lots of lols.
and it creates that that little like audio book type of thing that the couple are left with at the end,
With the
rather
visual.
than rather than just like a guest book. And I feel like that's such a good way, even during the night, like people just get chatty and just have
but
a
being
great
prompted,
time.
like
And-
when I see it. This is what really gets me because I'm a softie. But when like he's asking dad as an example, you know, is this, or what's your proudest moment, or whatever it might be, and I guess without being confronted by it and really putting thought to it, these things might not be shared. He's feeling them. He's just seen his son, daughter, whatever get
and he may
get
not
married.
have said it,
And then you
to
can
his
just
son.
see the emotion in the eyes and welling up, and I'm
so
just like,
beautiful.
Yeah, because the thing is, all of those emotions and everything are there on the day.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I honestly, it's so good that I'm in the kitchen and not out the front, because if I am ever near the ceremony, I'm like a
always
mess.
crying.
Yeah,
I'm
always
always
crying.
crying.
Like, regardless of how well I
Yeah.
know these clients, like you know, like
you
I'm
can
always-
feel it.
Yes, just
You
so much
can.
emotion,
Yeah.
and I feel like these sorts of things, like any way that you can capture that, so that you can kind of
Hold on to it too.
remember
Yeah,
it afterwards. Yeah. And even I love how the grandparents are like interviewed.
Yeah.
Like they say, we're so proud of him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, like maybe they never say that, but like this couple have that to keep.
And
forever,
sometimes
you
they
know?
do unleash, and they do like stitch them
Yeah.
up, and you get some like dirty stories, and I'm like, oh, this is also brilliant.
So true.
Yeah, it's really very.
The other one is like the telephone off the hook. So that's a really cool way as well. If you don't want like someone being interviewed, like it's just like a telephone set up, and like it's a really cute one. And you can get different
They're
colors
adorable.
now.
Yeah,
Like
the
it's
colour,
like
yeah.
all different colors. I love that. And so people can leave messages. And when people talk, I think it comes out more naturally rather than them writing like in a guest book. So like basic stuff is like always congratulations, and it's like they might have more to say, like you know.
Yeah.
So so I do think that that's a really cool, not entertainment, but like something to keep guests occupied with. That's a bit different.
Yeah, it really captures that moment in time as well with the audio. Yeah, I like it.
So the last sort of thing that the last trend we sort of want to talk about is the colors that we're seeing, the themes. Look, I'm seeing more garden style themed weddings, like outdoors. I'm not seeing as many rustic weddings. I have to say. I'm not seeing that theme coming into this year.
They're
I'm
still
seeing
there,
like
but
pastel colors, but I think they're like elevating rustic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I was
I
gonna
love
say.
that.
I think it's
Elegant.
like cottage.
Yeah,
it's
it's
more
love
like
it.
it's the old rustic used to be all that Hessian.
Oh my gosh,
and all the
Hessian.
you know, Hessian and twine.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like brown glass bottles, which my venue,
Yeah.
Secret Creek,
No.
like that looks great there.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh,
But
okay.
the like, I think
It
you're right
works
about
sometimes.
the elevated version of that
Yeah.
is the color, like
Yes,
almost like a
adding
kind of
style.
rambling like cottage garden.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know,
I love
where
it.
like beautiful little pops of like flowers that you know that just grow in an
That's that
English
you see in the garden.
countryside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like the garden style is just so nice. And I love how like people are incorporating not in only in the flowers, but they're doing like umbrellas and like lounge areas. So things are becoming more like cocktail style, I feel.
Yeah.
Like
Or
yeah,
even I've
it's-
seen, you'll love this, but with those bright pops of flowers, but like the incorporated fruit, like hanging grapes
Oh,
and stuff.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do
The
love
grapes,
Yeah.
the green
Yeah.
grapes are
Yeah.
I don't know about the trend, like there's another trend that's sort of happening, like the pearls and the bows.
Yep.
I love the bows on like the champagne towers and
Oh,
things
yeah,
like
that's
that. I think they're
cute.
so nice. But the one thing I'm seeing is like with the fruit, like people are sticking pearls on the fruit.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not huge.
I
on
have
that.
not
like
seen
that.
it.
I'm not huge on it. I'm not huge.
I don't
on it.
understand
I love
it.
pearls. I love the pearls, but like,
Mhm.
and I love the fruit, but not together.
As my mum would say, as long as you like it. But
Yeah, we're
it's a
circling
no.
it back around.
It's-
If you love it, if it makes you feel good,
It's a no from
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
It's nice.
it's not for
in
everyone.
photos,
Yeah.
but like, what happens to the food after? Like,
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
it's just
worried about
decoration.
the wastage. You know,
Yeah.
like is someone going
Are you
and
gonna
pulling them
eat
all
it
off and then
after?
making a
Oh, yeah,
sauce or
true.
something? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because
Or
I've seen
maybe
people do
they're
like
not artificial.
capsicums.
Like
yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen it on capsicums.
Oh, I've seen like vegetables, like chilies, like hot chilies and
Oh,
capsicums,
yeah.
and like because I mean for florists
Oh my
and
gosh.
stylists and designers,
Yeah.
like these are just shapes and textures and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like I love that side of it too because I love to style food, but
Yeah.
I'm also thinking like, yeah,
You
but
would
what
think
happens
who's gonna
after?
eat
Like,
it?
who's
You would
gonna
hope
eat
that
it?
they do, or that they just get destroyed when the dance floor opens up and people are a little bit more free.
Need a
to...
snack.
Yeah.
No, but like
the
for
late snacks
real.
on the table.
Well, afterwards, I would hope, and I encourage all
Oh,
my
no, it
couples
would always
to
get
repurpose
collected.
and reuse
Yeah.
flowers. So why not the other additions, as long as,
Oh, no.
as long as they're not bedazzled.
Oh,
Someone would have to pick them all off, cut the skin off, and then make a sugo or something.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so that's all the trends that I'm sort of like noticing
Yep.
for this year. Anything else that you guys are noticing in your sort of services? Oh, the last dance. Okay.
Oh, instead
so
of first dance,
yeah,
last
so
dance.
look, some people are having both.
Mhm,
Like some
mhm.
people are literally having first dance and
Yep.
then a last dance. So last dance, for those of you who don't know, is just when all the guests have left or are like outside getting ready to like the sparkler exit tunnel thing, and then the bride and groom stay inside the reception, close the doors because we don't want the guests coming back in, and they have like their last dance, because sometimes the couple get a bit shy in front of people and they don't want to dance in front of them, but then they want to remember having a dance and have that footage of it and all that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really special when they have it at the end.
Yep.
And yeah, I've been seeing it more often. So
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And then they have the last dance when they go back to their
Love
rooms.
it.
No cameras around for that.
No.
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 Whatever floats your boat.
as
It's
long as
your
you like
wedding. If you want to capture that, just like I don't know about hiring someone to capture.
Well, I
it.
do
That's
know
the
that
thing.
there's photographers that specialize. That's a niche thing. But anyway, we digress.
Oh gosh. If you want that
If
contact,
someone has
Lauren
done
will-
that,
Lauren will-
someone's if you can
Yeah,
think
there's
someone's
real
done it.
intimate shoots. Oh my god, and they're
Oh,
hot.
big
Oh,
wild
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
it's a thing.
You know, I've actually seen it on Instagram recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, who's
I'm following. I
Who's
can't
the
remember
one
who
for
it
Their
is.
wedding, like wedding
there
night
is
ones.
someone.
They usually do it in the lead up.
Okay,
So it's
sure.
like-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So they have the
They've been
photos,
made
yeah.
up and they're in,
Mhm, mhm.
or they could do it as an engagement shoot, because what's great about that is, and they've got this relationship with their photographer where, like, mate, you've seen us do everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
yeah.
wedding days,
Yeah.
Yeah.
breeze.
Smooth
Yeah.
sailing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, if it,
I don't know how we got here.
I don't know if you like it. If you like it, then
Thanks,
go
Mum.
for it.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much, Tenille. Thanks
You're
for coming and
so
sharing your
welcome.
insights
Yeah,
and
it was
talking
fun.
trends with us. And yeah.
Can't wait to see you again soon.
Yeah, we probably have some weddings together coming
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
We have a couple of weddings coming up, and yeah, I want to come and try out some more vegan food. Maybe I'll try that cheese.
Maybe
toasty.
I was just
Hey,
about
you
to
can
say
eat the
it.
vegan
Come
Kit
and
Kat that I
choose.
brought you.
I will try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it tastes just
Yeah.
like a regular Kit Kat.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about
Okay.
vegan food now. Like, it's hard to, well, one, it's hard to be accidentally healthy as a vegan. You know, like, it's not just health food.
Yeah.
Although, you know, some people do like that. You can get all the treats.
Yep.
Magnums, Kit Kats, all like ice creams,
Oreos.
Oreos. They were always vegan, just
Yeah.
accidentally.
Potato chips, all of the
Yeah.
potato chips, almost.
Yeah.
Oh god. See, I could be vegan. I don't even know.
There's often that happens
Eat
so
vegan food by
often.
accident.
Probably.
I have heard so many people go, "Oh, I wouldn't eat that. It's vegan." I'm like, mate, you eat.
You eat
Like,
other stuff.
do you eat
yeah,
scallops
yeah,
and chips?
Yeah.
Do you eat like you
Yeah.
know?
True.
Anyway.
True.
We love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
coming.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll link in the bio all of Tenille's details where you can find her at Secret Creek and also vegan weddings and events. So if you're thinking about having a vegan wedding, reach out to Tenille.
Or just
Yeah.
reach out to me to chat.
Yeah.
I do like a chat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. All right.
See you guys.
Bye.